Hey, what's up everybody? If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Kate, and today we're going to be doing my first story time ever. So I'm going to be talking about something that happened literally almost a year ago today. It's hurricane season in the South. It happens the same time every year, but this year it was a little different. It was in 2020. It was the record number of hurricanes that we had seen in the United States. And I moved down here in 2019 when I got married to my husband, and he and his family have lived down here for years. The last hurricane that hit down here was Ivan, which they left for. They evacuated. Today I'm going to be talking about Hurricane Sally and how my husband and I almost died. And that's not clickbait. That's not me over-exaggerating. That's literally what happened, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Hurricane Sally made landfall in Gulf Shores, Alabama on September the 16th, really early in the morning. And we knew it was coming. We had some heads up, but it didn't look like it was going to be a direct hit. I even asked my coworkers, my father-in-law, because I was panicking a little bit. They all said it's a Cat 2 at most. It's nothing to worry about. My father-in-law even said the words, "I'm not leaving unless it's a Cat 5. So everyone assured me that it was gonna be okay and it wasn't even gonna come close to us. The issue with Hurricane Sally is that once it hit the Gulf of Mexico, it just stayed there, and it was moving so slow that it was just picking up tons of water. So it sat there in the Gulf of Mexico for almost a full day. September 15th, the day before it hit, I was still so convinced that we didn't need to evacuate that at 11:30 at night, I was sitting right here at this computer playing video games. I finally logged off playing video games around midnight, and there was some light rain, but I didn't think anything about it. And then I went to bed, and that's when the chaos happened. So my father-in-law had come over to take some precautions because the house that we live in is very window heavy. There are a lot of windows. He boarded up literally everything other than the window pane glass because there's a porch on the back of it, so it wasn't directly going to be affected. This was my first hurricane that I'd ever been through, and I don't really know how to describe what it was like other than terrifying. The wind got so strong that you could hear it. You could hear the house creaking. I felt like the wind was gonna rip our house apart. The boards that my father-in-law had placed on the door, I could hear them rattling against the window. You could hear the trees outside creaking and moaning, and at one point when it hit its most intense, it sounded, I don't know any other way to describe it, it sounded like a terrifying monster was outside, just wreaking chaos. And that's what I imagined in my head as I was sitting in my bed, wide awake, cradling my cat. And my loving husband, who has actually been through hurricanes, took a melatonin before it hit, so he was knocked out at the peak of the hurricane when we were getting like the strongest winds and it was hitting us the hardest. I lost the cat, and about that time, the glass doors that are in our living room blew open. I find the cat hiding in the bottom of our closet, and then an 80-foot tall pine tree fell on our house and caved in the roof of the room that we were in. So that sucked, because the moment that the tree hit our house, I woke my husband up as he already was jolting awake. Logical Caitlin kicked in. So when the tree originally hit our house, like we heard it go gong, I was like, okay, well, it didn't break through. We're fine. We're gonna be okay. But then the water started to pour in from the ceiling, and you could see the lines on the ceiling from where the panels were, and it was just starting to drip. We got pots and pans and tried to manage the drippage, but then I realized the ceiling is about to fall in. So Matthew and I think this speaks so perfectly to Matthew and I as a unit. When we work together, we are literally an unstoppable force. We tag teamed getting all of our crap out of our bedroom in less than 10 minutes, and we were pulling out the last piece of furniture out of our bedroom when the ceiling completely collapsed. And honestly, around that time that we finished moving everything out, we were in the eye of the hurricane, and it was deadly calm. It was insane. And during that moment, the sun had come out. It was like 5 a.m. and I was able to get some pictures of the damage that was around us. And I'm gonna put some of those pictures here. But our town was completely flooded. The issue with the hurricane staying in the Gulf of Mexico for so long, specifically in Mobile Bay, it pulled up all that water and it just dumped it, which made all of the tree root systems able to be pushed over by the hurricane force winds, which is what happened to our tree. And our tree that fell on our house actually still had its taproot system intact, so it didn't snap off at the base. It was literally just pushed over. So needless to say, Matthew and I survived, obviously. It's been almost a whole year since that happened, and we still aren't back in that bedroom. The only reason that we survived was because the way that the house is built, on the windows, they have like a thicker wood section over the windows that provides a little extra structure, and that is exactly where the tree hit, right over our bed. And the guys that came to cut down the tree and the power company that came out later, they let us know that if it would have fallen literally 4 inches over, those beams wouldn't have been able to support the weight and it would have crushed us in our sleep. And so if that wasn't already pretty traumatic, us almost dying, we were without power for 9 days. That meant that my lovely father-in-law had a gas grill and we cooked everything in that freezer and we feasted like kings for 2 days. Feasted like kings with no power. You wanna know what that means? That means the toilets don't flush. That means our well water didn't work. That means no showers. A lot of the locals seem to say that this hurricane was worse than Ivan. Even though Sally was only a Category 2 when she made landfall, Hurricane Ivan, I don't remember, was a 4 or a 5. Many people said that this was the most horrific hurricane in the way of damage that had hit this area. So as far as I can find, only 2 people actually died in Alabama due to Hurricane Sally. 1 died during the storm and 1 died during cleanup. And then the other 2 people that died in Georgia due to the tornadoes that were going through Georgia as Hurricane Sally moved up and out. All of this to say, I'm so incredibly thankful that Matthew and I did not die. And I never want to go through a hurricane ever again. And I know that this video was kind of lighthearted and made some jokes, but I just want everyone to know, like, leaving for Hurricane Sally actually in our case would have been worse because we would have come back to a whole house full of flooded things. Whereas because we were here, we were able to get all of our stuff out. And I think the only thing we lost was a bathroom scale that got buried underneath all the ceiling when it fell. That was literally the only thing we lost. But anyways, that is my story time. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. If you like this content, just make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to be notified when I post more videos. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!